Take two. Hi Flosstube. My name's Jess. I'm Cross Stitch Jess here on Flosstube and over on Instagram. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm here to talk to you about my August stitching. It's been quite a busy month. I guess for anyone who already watches my channel or has seen recent videos, for you guys it's only been like a couple of weeks since my whip parade, but for me it's been a month since I filmed that because it took me a couple of weeks to get around to editing. So I feel like I've not spoken to you for ages, but I guess you guys have seen me not that long ago. Words. But yeah, I have a lot to show you. Leftovers from take one. Let me rescue those. Okay, so what has been happening this month? I have well and truly resurfaced from being addicted to the video game that I was very absorbed in during June and July. My stitchy bug is back, my project bag making bug has been back, like it's all been happening. I've been redecorating my bedroom, it's all happening. All the time, every day. I've also had a bunch of like events that I've been to over the past month. So my plan for today, I'm going to do a bit of a quick run through of what I've been up to. I'm going to go through my project stack, which is in absolutely no coherent order. I've got some goodies from the various things I've been to this month, so I'm going to do a very quick like haul. I don't normally do a haul thing, but there are some nice things and some gifts and things, so I want to show those off. And then at the end, I have project bags to show you because I've finished. It's taken a hot minute, but I genuinely, I'll show you the stack when we get there. But like, I'm pretty sure there's somewhere between 70 and 75 project bags that are done. I'm so excited to have them done, and I'm so excited because some of them are for me. So I'll show those at the end. They're gonna go on sale in about a week's time. I am terrible with dates, so let me double check what date I decided. It's Wednesday next week, which I think is the 10th. Yeah, Wednesday the 10th, 6 PM UK time. They will be going up on my Instagram, so go give me a follow over there if you're interested in having a look and maybe buying one. But I will come back to that at the end because I appreciate that not everyone will care or be interested. So what's happened this month? Immediately, like literally the day after I last filmed, I went to the Festival of Quilts with Beth, who is Stitch with Beth on Instagram and Beth Chadwick here on Flosstube. Yeah, that's the right way around. For anyone who's not been to one of these types of things, it's like a big, like a marketplace type thing. So it's at a convention centre and there's a whole bunch of local and, well, not even local, some of them are from quite far away, but lots of like thematically relevant small businesses, so quilting shops, other needlework craft shops, all basically coming together at a convention centre. So there's lots of shopping opportunities, which I definitely partook of. And then for this one, there's also, because it's quilting themed, there was like, you could enter quilts into different categories and they were judged and winners were chosen and things. I'll put some pictures up while I'm talking of a couple of my favourite quilts. I also partook in the shopping quite generously. There was a great moment where I said to Beth, like, right, no more fabric. And then we walked past the next one. I was like, no more fabric unless it's under £5 a metre. I can't pass up a bargain. Yeah, some of that fabric has already gone into project bags and some of it's in my stash ready for a future round. So you'll see some of those in a bit. I also got some new types of needlework stuff, which again I'll show at the end because I know not everyone likes seeing purchases. But basically I had a really lovely time. It was great. It was such a nice day out. And I'm very, very fortunate to live where I do, that I'm like 10-minute walk from the train station and then 15-minute train to the NEC where a lot of these events, like we quite often go to the UK Games Expo as well. The the creative craft show. There's all sorts that goes on there, so very lucky to have such easy access to those things. Couple of other things stitchy related. So we have a local stitchy day organised by Sue and Hilary. They do they organise a monthly meet up in a local cafe, but a couple of times a year they also do a stitchy day at a local hotel. So the cafe one is free, like everyone just buys drinks and cake and stuff as a thank you to the cafe for letting us use the space. And then the full stitchy day includes lunch and all sorts. So went to both of those, really enjoyed both, had a really lovely time. So as always, thank you Sue and Hilary, you do an amazing job of organising them. So if anyone is in the sort of Birmingham or Midlands area and is interested in coming to either of those things, let me know and I will happily put you in touch with the Facebook group where those things get organised, because they're great. Highly recommend, 10 out of 10. The other stitchy meetup that I went to, which was extra exciting, was the Itching for Stitching. So this was not last weekend. No, not the weekend just gone. So 10 days ago. So it was on the bank holiday weekend, but it didn't extend onto the Monday. John was away at LARP for that particular weekend. So normally we try and do if one of us is away, the other's at home, so that we don't need to do dog sitting. So John was away, but I really wanted to go. So Alfie came with me because it's a dog-friendly hotel, and the organisers, Janet and Melanie, very kindly said that he could come with. He was the best boy, honestly. He was so good. I think as we arrived, he was initially a little bit like, oh my god, so many people, and everyone obviously wanted to come and say hi, which was lovely, but I think he initially was a tiny bit overwhelmed. But once we got in, I took my giant beanbag with me, and once I got that in, sat on the beanbag, he sat on me, he was completely chill. He loved the attention, and I even managed to get stitching in, which blew my mind. In the afternoon, so again we went and had lunch. He came and was he just was very chill, curled up on the floor next to us whilst lunch was happening. And in the afternoon we swapped, so Beth sat on the beanbag, and I'm gonna caveat, Beth and Alfie know each other quite well. She comes to our house quite often, we've been for walks with her and her dog, so they know each other really well. I would not have let this happen if it was someone who he'd met for the first time. He's not normally allowed to clamber on people like this. But she sat on the beanbag and was half sitting, half laying on the beanbag, because and he got on her lap and just gradually crawled up her to the point that he was sort of laying on her face at one point. I'll put some pictures in, because there was a great photo where there's you mostly just see Beth's legs and then Alfie, and then Beth's head sort of poking around the side. It was great. But I wanted to say a special thank you, firstly to Janet and Melanie for letting me bring Alfie. I think he had a great time. I had a great time. I'm really glad I could still come and enjoy the retreat. And then also extra special thank you to Beth, because I think I would have found it really challenging if there wasn't someone there that I knew that he knew. So if I needed to pop to the loo, she was happy to keep an eye on him and things. So thank you, Beth. The couple of other things that are sort of not stitchy related, I think this is take two, so I don't know what I've said this time or what I've said last time. I decided to redecorate our bedroom, which is half done. So we're living in a bit of chaos at the moment, where some things are in the spare bedroom, some things are in our bedroom. It's all over the place while I try and get around to painting. And I have just realised that we're away this weekend. We've got a dog sitter coming, so I need to make our spare room. Oh god, I need to make our spare room functional. Okay, that's a tomorrow me problem. It's fine. It's fine. The other exciting thing that's been happening is making project bags. I've already mentioned it. I think most of my time in July working on them was pairing up the fabrics, getting them cut to size, and then this month I've done one step for all of the bags, and then done the next step for all of the bags. So it's been it's been nice, like, having those milestones of like, oh, I've done all of the quilting, that's done, boom. I've done all of the zips, boom. Like, that's been quite nice. And then yesterday I had about a third of them that I had already done the binding on the insides, and I don't particularly enjoy the binding, it's my least favourite step. But yesterday I was like, come on Jess, just get it done. And I did like 40 to 50 bags in one day, just powered through them. So yeah, really glad that they're done and ready, and looking forward to showing you a bit later, and then also seeing what everyone picks when they go on sale next week. Cool, that is it in terms of like what's been going on. So let's get into the stitching. I have, again, I can't remember if I've said this version or last version, so apologies if this is a repeat. I've decided to just embrace the chaos. I just don't enjoy the organisational bit of like, these ones are whips and these are finishes and these are starts, and like grouping them together. So I have literally just gone through my Notion, pulled out all the projects that I've worked on, and they're just in a pile. So you're going to get a mix of like finishes, starts, everything. So without further ado, I focused this month on the Abandoned Sal, which was started by Kenny Stitches. I feel like he's got a different name on Instagram versus Flosstube, but I can't remember what, so it'll be up there. But for his birthday he was hosting the Abandoned Sal, so stitch alongs that you haven't kept up with or haven't worked on in a while. I picked 3 to work on. I think they're my only sals, but this is the first one that I worked on. This is the Magic School Stitch Along sampler from Circle Cross, and this is the Invocation piece. I started this overall project well after the original designer finished doing it as a sal, but myself and Stitch Ecology, Rachel, decided we're both doing this, we're both doing them on individual pieces of fabric, so why not do them together? So we started this one, I want to say in July, and I finished it in mid-August. I think hopefully, she was saying there's a chance that she might be coming to Birmingham for work in the next few months, so maybe we'll get to meet up, compare projects, and yeah, maybe we'll start a new one together or something. One thing I really love on this, even when I'm looking at the pattern, I quite often my brain doesn't interpret what the motifs are until I stitch them. So these candles, I totally didn't realise they were candles until I stitched them. And like up here, there's a book. Hold it up closer. There's a book, and I could tell what the book was, but like this is a quill and it's sitting on a table, and like my brain just totally doesn't interpret that when I'm looking at the pattern or even the mock-up. But for some reason when I then stitch it, it's like, oh, it's a table and a quill. So I really enjoy black work. Yeah, I really enjoy them. I'm glad to be back working on them. Alfie, you're a little bit in my way, and you're also really bad for the light. Can you lay down? Can you lay down? Can you lay down, please? John's in the kitchen, so Alfie is like hedging whether it's worth going and begging at the kitchen door. Okay, next up is another finish. This one was, for a long time, this has been my ABC project. Credit to Dobby, as always, for that term. This was it's easy to just grab the project bag and go. I kept 1 or 2 threads in it so that it was always ready. And we also had this green banner. I stitched everything except the background, so that if I was somewhere that like I didn't really have the space to have a pattern out, I could just fill in and I didn't really need the pattern. So this is Cabin in the Woods by Flossabilities, the lovely Lauren and Sam. I've stitched this on fabric that I've dyed myself, which I am kind of obsessed with. I'm so glad that I stuck out this idea. Interestingly, this is what this piece of fabric started as. and my intent was to just put the blue over the top so that you had some orange peeking through, but when I did that, the blue completely covered all traces of the orange. So I then sort of went back in and added these orange and sort of pinky red areas to give a sort of sunset vibe. But this really amuses me because I had this idea, I saw the orange fabric and had this idea of like sunrise through the trees or sunset through the trees, and everyone I sort of showed the fabric to and was like, what do you think? Were like, not sure that's gonna work, Jess. I'm so glad that I stuck with it because I think it's come out so good. Absolutely love stitching this. It's a very like straightforward pattern to stitch. It's the trees, for example, have at most 3 colours in, but they're so effective. The only other change than the fabric that I've made is these stars are done in like a gutterman metallic, and the moon is also a gutterman metallic but a different colour. So I'll pop details of those in the description. But yeah, I was so happy with this finish. For ages I was like making really slow progress because it only came out when I was sort of stitching out and about, and then I think last week on the Tuesday I wasn't feeling very well. I was off work for the day and I just needed something really low effort, and this just, I think it 2 days and it was done. So this one's definitely getting framed with tons of this fabric showing. I love it. Yay. On the note of Flossabilities, I can't remember if I outright said this before and just said that I couldn't show it at the time. I was very lucky to have Lauren from Flossabilities trust me to do a model stitch for her. I finished this, it would have been right at the start of May because it was just before I did Monogamous May. But that design has now been announced. It's part of her Needlework Marketplace releases, so I'm now allowed to talk about it and show it. So I'm going to pass over to Past Jess, who will be able to show you that project. So over to you. Hi Flosstube, Past Jess. I have just finished a model stitch, and I obviously can't show it now because it's not been released yet. But if you're seeing this, that means it has been released, and I will include details in the description where to find this. But this is from the lovely Lauren and Sam at Flossabilities, and this is Wisdom of a Witch. So I've literally finished this about 20 minutes ago. I really enjoyed this. It's one that Lauren had part stitched. Get rid of some of that spare fabric. So Lauren had part stitched the bottom to test the colours and then sent it over to me to finish. So I've done, I think, about 6,500–7,000 stitches on this, and I've done that in about 10 days because I really wanted to get this one done and then it gets stuck into Monogamous May. So Wisdom of a Witch, it's backwards on my screen, so bear with. Love the earth, follow the phases of the moon, be spellbinding, don't worry about a few cobwebs, love animals, be a frequent flyer, and make magic. I've really enjoyed this. It's got a fairly limited colour palette, so it's got like a dark brown in the border and the symbols there, and then it's got some black for the text and the animals and the lanterns, and then some pops of colour for the pumpkins, the moon, the little star at the top there. But yeah, Wisdom of a Witch by Flossabilities. As I say, if you're seeing this, it means it's out now. I will say I don't know off the top of my head which fabric this is. Lauren chose it, so I will be sure to find that out before I include this segment, and it will be on the bottom of the screen right now so you can see what it is. It's a gorgeous fabric. Yeah, that is all. Back to future Jess. Thanks, Past Jess. Yeah, I loved stitching that so much. And again, thank you, Lauren, for trusting me. I'm genuinely really honoured. And if you haven't already pre-ordered or gotten that pattern, I believe it's available from Lauren on Etsy, and I believe you can also get it from, in the UK, Talking Dog Stitchery. I think she's now got them in stock as well. if you're a paper pattern kind of person. Right, what is next on this slightly precarious pile? I normally have a chair, but I've rearranged the living room a little bit, so I no longer have a chair to sort of chuck things when I'm done showing them. So I'm just going to bury myself and Alfie in a pile of stuff. Right, next we have, so Beyond the Horizon. Alfie, this is going to be really hard if you're going to insist on being on my lap. Can you, in the middle? No, that's not really the middle, is it? Middle. Good boy. So this is Beyond the Horizon. I'll be real, it probably won't look any different to last time you guys saw it, because doing this extreme cross country, just it kind of, what I've added disappears into what I've already done. I'm pretty sure it's this sort of quite bright blue that I've finished off. I think it was mostly what was in the earth that was left to do. So go to sleep. So this is still slow progress. I think I only got 3 or 4 days more work on this to finish that colour at the start of August, but it has like reignited my love for this pattern and this project. So I don't know when I'll next work on it, but it's no longer, I no longer have the association of like, oh, that's something that I need to do, but I really don't want to. I'm back to sort of feeling quite positive about working on this one, which is nice. I would really like to get that finished at some point. It's about halfway done now. In fact, let's have a quick look. Come on, pattern keeper, where are you at? It's literally the first pattern on my pattern keeper because it's my oldest one. So we're on 47.95%. So, and that's 50, just shy of 59,000 stitches. So yeah, I'll get there eventually. I don't know when, but eventually. Right, I really should have gotten more organised with what I was going to put where. Right, where's the next project in this stash? I feel like I've worked on more things than I have on the side here. I'm slightly suspicious that I've missed something, but I feel like it's too late for that. So, another abandoned Sao Sao that I worked on. So this one was something that Rosie from WOCS and I were going to stitch together this year. She has made great progress. I have not. In my defence, I did a restart, so all of this is new this year. But this is the... Oh, you're right, Alfie. This is B by Lorna Laine, charted by GeckoRouge. Rosie has started in the middle, so she started with the B itself, which looks great. I've done a top left corner start because I wanted to try parking. I tried, I hated it. I went back to cross country. So this doesn't look like much. It is kind of just a pink and yellow and orange blob. But it is progress. This one is, it's 3.72%, so not very much. But I'm pretty sure I doubled, I'm fairly certain I worked out I doubled my stitch count on this month. So progress nonetheless. And this is Longbourn Blush 20 count from Swan Bay Fabrics. It's my first time stitching on Swan Bay Fabrics and I really love it. It's lovely fabric. I originally was doing this on some very stiff gridded 20 count, so I'm really glad that I swapped because it's much nicer to stitch on now than it was before. Right, I'm gonna chuck those down the end. Alfie. Okay, what is next? So next up is another abandoned Sao Sao project, and again I've more than doubled my stitches on this project this month, which is really exciting. So this is the Greenhouse of Oddities. Let me fold that in an easier to hold way. So here's my Greenhouse of Oddities. As you can see, we're not hugely far through it, but I've done tons. I think I finished this cactus, everything basically from the left of the cactus. It's my left, your right. Everything to the right of the cactus. Definitely just had to do my left and right. So all of this planter, this pink plant, there's he's missing an eye, but there's a little rat on the planter, like the little butterflies, the start of the easel, this little water feature at the bottom here. So I've done tons. Again, I think I've just said more than doubled my stitches, so really loved working on this. And I find it really fascinating that in my head, when I did this very first twirly bit on New Year's Eve, I was like, I'm going to hate working on this. This is going to be that project that I really want finished and I have to make myself work on it. But it's just not been like that. I love it. I'm so enjoying the tiny stitches. It's just so cute. And this, because you can probably tell from the light, we've got patio doors in our living room, so this is probably going to go on one of these shelves as a bit of the closest I can get it to the garden. Yeah, love it. I don't know when I'm going to work on it again, but I love it. And this is one of my favourite ever project bag fabrics. I got this from the Creative Craft Show last year. It was like clockwork bees. I thought that was so perfect for a Greenhouse of Oddities project bag. Love it. Love it. Right, she says, chucking it across the room. What else have we got? I'm getting down to like a stack of things that I've purchased or project bags that I've made for myself. So I'm just trying to fish out the current active project from underneath. Ooh. So next up we have my owl hoop. This was from a magazine, so the details will be on the banner because I can never remember what issue it is. I've recharted this digitally so that I can have it in Saga, just to make it a little bit easier to handle the backstitch. So this is, the intent for this is that you frame it in a hoop and then there'll be a gap in the design that you put like a smaller hoop inverted, which I'm quite excited to try. I've never done that before. So the progress on this has mostly been the owl itself. And again, doing that from a digital pattern where it highlights and tells you where to stitch, so much easier than doing it from a paper pattern. Like, I appreciate that I have to read the paper pattern to put it into the software, but I guess if I make a mistake there, it's really easy to fix, whereas making a mistake when you're stitching is much harder. I'm just gonna carry on working on this. Like you can see, I've sort of started on the branch and this couple of leaves. I'm basically working around the owl so that I can then do the back stitching, because the brown back stitching on his face and his sort of tummy and tail, that's only in the owl, so I figured I might as well get that all done in one go now that he's stitched. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this, and it's a quicker stitch than I expected. So I think I worked on it for 2 days and I think I got like 1,000 stitches done between the 2 days, and it's only, let me check, I think it's only like 5,000 stitches total. Oh, it's about 7.5, I think. Yeah, 7.5. And I'm just over 50% of the way, because the rest is sort of just some more, they're quite big flowers, but some more flowers at the bottom to loop that round. So yeah, I feel like I've gone through that really quickly. I do have 2 new starts, but I'm not going to show you either of them. So one is a gift, wedding gift for some friends who I'm seeing this weekend, so I'll do like a past Jess next time so that you can see those finished. Yeah, and then the other new start, So I've hinted in my last couple of videos that I have a crazy new plan, I kind of want to evil cackle kind of crazy plan. For anyone who watches Cat from Cat Kid and Lily, you might have joined the dots. So we, along with Rachel from Talking Dog Stitchery and possibly Danny from Flossy Raptor, the four of us, well, the three of us for sure, and then we're waiting to see. I think Danny has a particular project she wants to finish before she commits. But the 3 or 4 of us are going to be doing The Legend of Freya from Bella Filipina. This is going to be my first ever fancy lady, so that's exciting. Again, if you've watched Cat, she made a hint that I'm doing it in a slightly insane way, which I don't dispute. Can confirm, very nuts. I hinted previously that it's to do with my fabric. I'll give you a new hint. I'm not going to fully reveal until I can show you my test stitch, but I'm not doing it on Aida or linen or even weave. So guesses on a postcard, or more accurately, guesses in the comments. Let me know what insanity you think is about to ensue. But I basically bought like just a really generic like sea creatures pack on Etsy to do a test stitch and check that it's gonna work, basically, which I'm glad I've done, because I've realised that Freya has quite a lot of quarter stitches which I didn't originally clock, so I'm going to do some testing of that as well and make sure that they're going to work and look okay. So my plan is to have that finished for the next time I film, so that I can show you the insanity. I think we've not set anything in stone, but I think we're looking to start that at the start of November, like the first week or so. So I've got a little bit of time. It's not a rush. But yeah, exciting. What else? I feel like I had notes for a reason, because I knew I was going to forget stuff. So let's jump back. Where are we? Let's move away to beyond the horizon. Okay, yeah, so the plans. I'm going to finish the wedding gifts, which I'm due to give in 3 days. Be fine. That is nearly done. I'm like maybe an hour or 2 away from finishing the stitching, and then I've just got to fully finish. So that'll be fine. I want to finish my test stitch to make sure that that's going to work and that I'm all set to start on Freya. What else? A couple of other things, exciting news. Sophie from Tailway Textiles now has her website up and running. I have already placed an order. It's not yet arrived, but I'm very excited. I've ordered a kit to make a bag. I don't really know how to describe it, like a tote bag type thing, like a market bag, I think it's called on the listing. And my plan is for that to be like when I go to retreats, I can pop a couple of whips in there, and that will be my like travel whip bag. I've also ordered some fabrics to go into my next batch of project bags, so very excited for that. Other than that, I don't have any specific stitching plans. I want to finish the bits around the owl and then do the back stitch up to that point. But yeah, I've got a couple of projects that I'm kind of eyeing up starting, but I don't have any specific plans on when to start. Like I'm not like desperate to start them tomorrow or anything. So we're gonna wait and see how that goes. And then I don't know when I'm next gonna film. I can't remember what, my calendar's on my phone. I didn't look before I started, so I have no idea what I'm doing or when. But I know towards the end of September I'm going to the Essex Needles retreat, so I imagine I'll be back to film before then, I hope, but we'll see. So if you're coming to that, come say hi. It'd be lovely to see you. I will be taking my Hearts and Stars or Friendship project, so if you haven't stitched on that before and you'd like to, what are you doing, Alfie? Okay, he's like half got his butt in the air and his head hanging off the sofa as if he's stalking something, but there's nothing there. suspicious that he's going to lunge at my feet. Oh, it was the ball. You were trying to save the ball. Okay, that is all the plans. I'm just going to finish the owl and then see what in my whip box appeals. Super quick stash acquisitions, mostly from the Creative Craft Show. So I picked up a Sashiko kit. Well, it's not a kit, it's just the fabric. It's printed fabric. But I really loved the model stitch for this. It's very sort of autumnal leaves. I thought that was really pretty. Knocking things off. Come back. I also picked up this needlepoint kit, which is from WOCS by Sue Hawkins. For anyone who has been here a while, I did try needlepoint really early this year and it just did not work for me. In retrospect, that's using really chunky pearl cotton on 18 count canvas. This is using like DMC, and I think it's even like not the full, I think for a lot of it it's not the full 6 strands of DMC, so I'm wondering if the reason I didn't enjoy the other pattern was it was just too chunky for me. So I wanted to give this another go. So those were both from the Creative Craft Show, the Festival of Quilts. I also managed to pick up, I think there was maybe one cross stitch related. Okay, sniff inspection approved. Okay, we've got 2 new brands of metallic threads to go on my metallic sampler. I've not seen or heard of either of these brands before. So one is the Aman Group Metla. Not come across them before. And then this one's in Russian. I'm not even gonna begin to try and guess how that's pronounced, but it's got a cute butterfly as their logo. And they're both very different to any of the metallics I already have. So looking forward to adding those. And then I also got some Valdani silk, which looks really chaotic, but anytime I try and make it neater, it makes it worse. So this is to go on my Selkie project, which is going to be a bit of a sort of teal sampler. So that was that. We also did a workshop at the show to make, I'm just going to show you the front cover. So origami from fabric, which seemed quite cool and very me. So I didn't get to finish the second one, but this one we turned into a pinwheel. Oh, Alfie, very keen on inspecting these ones. What do you think? Did I do a good job? Oh, you just want the fuss. Okay. Can you lay down? Thank you. So yeah, that was really fun. I need to go back to it and finish off the second one. I think that was it from the event. The other couple of things, so at the Limes Lodge Stitchy Day I won the raffle and got to choose a piece of fabric from Luella's Hand Dyed Fabrics. I picked this 40 count. It's quite, I've not held them together so I might be mistaken here, but it's a similar sort of vibe to a piece I had from Crafty Kate a little while ago. I did like a little fairy on it that's very sort of, I really don't know how to describe the style. There were lots of half stitches. It was a very soft looking pattern, and that was also on 40 count. I found another pattern that's different designer, slightly different style, but a similar sort of soft vibe. So I thought it'd be nice to do those on similar fabrics and have them displayed together. So thank you for the raffle, Sue and Hilary. And then lastly, at the Itching for Stitching, I also won in the raffle. So I won this set of sulky threads, which is really cool because I've always wanted to try sulky. Alfie is really determined to sniff everything. I've always wanted to try them. I've got the Gutterman sulky, but that's like a completely different brand, so it'll be interesting to see how these are different. And then also Melanie and Janet do like a little gifts, what should they call it? Treat tray. And what I got was this pair of cat themed scissors. which Alfie does not appear to be approving, which they sort of fold shut and then go into this tube. So I thought that would be great for like chucking in a project bag as like an always bring cross stitch type thing, that they're nice and secure, they're not like loose in a tin rattling round. Yeah, really handy. Thank you as always for the treat trays. Janet and Melanie. Okay, that's all the acquisitions. We're on to project bags. So first ones that I'm just going to show you because I'm excited because they're for me. Can you scooch over? So I've talked before about having a book project. I finished Books on Magic recently. I do have a new pattern in mind. Haven't acquired the pattern, haven't picked fabric, haven't picked threads, haven't started it, but I do now have a project bag for it. So this is my book themed one. And this is fabric from Turtle Bay Textiles, so you can get this on her website if you wanted to create something yourself. The gorgeous book fabric. My Christmas project bag, I just have one small project bag and it's currently got 3 projects jammed in it. So I thought it was time that I made myself a new one so that they can spread out a little bit. And they've got sort of matching tea leaf fabric on the inside. So that's 1 and 2. I can't remember which ones have interesting insides and which ones are fairly simple. And then this one, my dino bag, again, Turtle Bay Textiles fabric, and this one glows in the dark, and so does the insides. I'm very excited. This is going to have my space dino, the T-Rex and astronaut and T-Rex, I think it's formally called, but in my head it's just space dino. So I'm hoping this will prompt me to actually restart that project to find some new fabric and get it started. So that's all my acquisitions. I am going to pause for a second, go and acquire the stack and show you the project bags that are going to be available next week. If you're leaving here because you're not interested in the project bags, thank you for joining me. Happy stitching, and I will see you in a few weeks. If you're sticking around, I'll be right back. It's ridiculous. I literally don't think I can I get them all in shot? There we go. I went a bit overboard. Alfie, you're going to have to be off the sofa for this one. Off you get. Off. The space. Right. So I'm going to try and make this fairly quick because I don't want to bore you all. Some of the bags. Well, I'm going to just flick through all of them. So I'm going to go through quite quickly. We've got ducks. We've got pretty spools of thread. Some of these are quite similar to each other. I usually, in the past, I've always tried to do different coloured zips, at least, just to keep them unique. But for this batch, there are definitely some in here. I think probably more in the bigger ones. Some fun squirrels. But I've tried to do some where that's a good example, where I've done like 2 or 3 the same. So if you were to want to have like a matching project bag with a friend or be doing a stitch along, these ones, they've got slightly different edging, inverted, but very similar Christmas ones. But yeah, I thought that'd be nice to be able to have like a pair of bags to match. So when I list them, that'll be an option as well. More squirrels, more snowflakes. I think this one is like the partner to my one. It's got a slightly different zip. Some nice colourful, it's another pair. Nice colourful sunflowers. I love this fabric so much. I'm really tempted to keep one even though I don't have anything for it. Another pair, dino. And these ones, again, this is glow in the dark. And again, this is from Turtle Bay Textiles, the fabric. It's another one from Turtle Bay Textiles. This one, I'm obsessed with this fabric. So I have talked about gaming before. I quite like the genre of games referred to as cozy games. If anyone has played Cozy Grove, or if you like Stardew and my brain's gone completely blank. Animal Crossing, there we go. I highly recommend Cozy Grove. It's super cute, and this fabric, like, it's so perfect for that game. Got nice colourful. This is one of my new favourite fabrics. It looks unreal, both in person and on camera. It's got like gold sparkles on it, on top of this galaxy vibe, which I love. Some nice hexy quilt vibes. And we've got this super cute silly farm animal fabric. I'm like also insanely impressed that the designs on these just coincidentally lined up so perfectly that they're the same. That was not intentional, but I will take it. So that's all of the medium ones. Reshuffle. Loose thread. The split. Okay. Next stack. So these are the large ones. So this one has a gorgeous, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it very well, gorgeous sort of bee print. It's very subtle but very pretty. And there's another one, same fabric but different zip and edging. We've got forest animals, got a skull and crossbones, and this one's got pirate ships on the inside. We've got a bigger version of the funky farm animals. We've got space. We've got a different space. We've got more of the bright sunflowers. Nice blue floral. I think this one's actually already been dibsed. I think Dobby, this one is yours. More bright. I love this colour combination. I love it. Another floral one. Nice bright blue, sort of tealy colour. The floral on the inside. We've got more snowflakes. It's a bigger version, and that's a matching pair. We've got dinosaurs, and again, this one's got the glow in the dark fabric on the inside as well. You're gonna have to wait a minute, Alfie. You're gonna have to wait. Got more quilting fabric, more dinosaurs. We've got pirate ducks because I couldn't find an edging that I liked for this, so we've gone off-piste. Another nice bright sunflowers. I love these like Moroccan style spice bowls, and this has that nice sort of that sort of matches these bright bowls on the inside. When I found that pair of fabrics, I was like, oh, perfect. And then we've got a set of 3 the same of this gorgeous space fabric again. And then a last one of this gorgeous blue. So those are the large ones. They're sort of big enough for A4 sized fabric, and I think we established, I have photos somewhere, but we established during Itching for Stitching that you can fit is it an 8x8 or a 9x9 Q-snap? Will fit in those as well, which I've never been able to confirm before because I don't own a Q-snap to be able to test it. So thank you to the ladies at the retreat for letting me borrow your Q-snaps to see what would fit in what bag. The last one then, these are a new size since I last sold them online. So these are designed, I don't have it handy, but these are designed for the biggest size of Nurge hoop. Coincidentally, they also fit Q-snaps really, really well. So we've got a nice big space one, nice big Christmassy one, another sunflower. I think you will have seen all these fabrics by this point. Another pirate duck one. Space. I don't know what, I was clearly in a very spacey vibe when I was stocking up on all these fabrics. Give me a sec, Alfie, and then you can come up. More dinos. The last of the fun farm animals. I think this one might be new actually, I think I've only done one big one in this. The nice blue dinosaur fabric. Big one of the book fabric. Another one of the nice bright floral. Another one of these. A one-off, just because I wanted to see how well it would work. So this one has a matching notions pouch, so that one will be an extra £5 for the bag and the notions pouch together. Last one of the nice bright birds. And then last but not least, another nice bright flowers one with a lovely green zip. So, oh, we left those over there. Come on, come say goodbye. So that's all the bags. They will be going up on my Instagram stories and highlights. The plan is 6 p.m. on the 10th. It's the 10th of September, so if you're watching this much later, they might already be up. Excuse Alfie sneezing. Yeah, so I have absolutely loved making them. There is a good chance that I'm going to raid and keep a couple more, because the 3 that I showed that I'm keeping were ones that I intentionally put the fabric combinations together for projects that I knew I wanted, or that I wanted to keep in them. But honestly, I love every single one of these fabrics. There's a good chance that a couple of extras find their way into my stash. Let me know if you have a favourite. I find it fascinating what people like, do or don't like. So I'm really excited to see what everyone picks. And get those sent out to you next week. Yay! I'm so glad that I finally got my bag making bug back, because it's been a hot minute and my fabric stash was getting unmanageable. I will say, between the Festival of Quilts and also my local fabric shop is shutting down, so I'm doing regular trips to make the most of it while it's still there. But between those two, I'm fairly certain I've now bought more fabric than I used in the last month alone. So more project bags coming at some point in the future, maybe not super soon. I might try and do every like 6 months or something, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, thank you if you've stuck it out this long. Alfie coming in for a cuddle at the end. I really enjoyed sharing. Yeah, I will hopefully hear from some of you on Instagram next week when the bags go on sale. And other than that, I will probably be back in 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, for another update. Happy stitching! Bye!